to discuss Republican Congressman Pete Roskam, the Ways and Means Committee Tax Policy Chairman. Sir, thank you very much for joining.
Great to be with you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's great to have you on this important day. I was struck by the somber tone, not only of President Trump today, but of all the Republicans in there. It seems to reflect the sort of anxiety that hangs over your party and the inability so far, to get health care reform through, which, by the way, made tax reform a lot harder.
So I think it makes tax reform harder in one sense, but it makes it easier in another sense. And here's why. The bad experience on health care has really informed of a lot of people. And so take advantage of the fact right now that there's nobody that defending the status quo of the internal of the Internal Revenue Code. Nobody likes it. That's so different than health care, for example, where you have people with very strong feelings defending the status quo. So what we're recognizing is you're at an opportunity point, a once-in-a-generation opportunity point.
I'm sort of reminded of me thinketh thou protest too much, and not trying to be wise here, but it feels like the biggest selling point is still getting all Republicans on the same page. Are you confident? I know the process has been different, and it's included a lot more folks before this was unveiled, but could there still be difficulty getting everyone on page with this in your party to back this?
There's no doubt that any kind of tax reform effort this significant is challenging. I mean, that's the nature of it. But I was in a discussion today with the entire House Republicans, every one of them, and we were in a retreat setting for several hours, and the tone and the demeanor was very different. In other words, there was a forward-leaning nature to this. People were not just, they weren't criticizing, they were critiquing. They were saying, how about this, how about that? But it was very much with the disposition of trying to get to support as opposed to, I don't like what I'm seeing and that sort of thing. There's a subtlety to that, but it's a subtlety that I picked up on. Look, I will stipulate that there has been great difficulties in health care. So rather than, it becoming paralyzing, let's learn from it and let's not make the same mistakes twice.
Right now, and I think that subtlety actually was borne out even more significantly with the House Freedom Caucus saying they're on board immediately. So that's not going to be a major speed bump for this. Let's talk about the Democrats, because that will be more than a speed bump. Fox News has a poll that just came out a moment ago, and on health care, 88% say yes, individuals deserve to pay less taxes. They weren't so supportive of corporate tax cuts or tax cuts for the wealthy. Of course, Chuck Schumer leaped all over that in his press conference today. How do you articulate to the average American out there that lower tax rates for corporations means more money in their pockets?
Well, first of all, we talk about the actual money that's going into their pocket by doubling the standard deduction, by lowering the rates, and a number of other things that have still yet to be written. But I'm confident when it all comes down to it, they're going to say, this is better for me in my actual paycheck. Then shift over on the business side and recognize, look, we've got a corporate tax rate that's simply not competitive. I'm from the Chicago area, and one of the reasons an iconic Chicago company left, that is Aon Corporation, big company, they left and they went to the United Kingdom to have their headquarters there a few years ago. Why did they leave? Tax policy.
Right.
So we've got to update this thing because that has a huge impact in Chicagoland. Burger King left their headquarters. They left Miami, and where did they go? They went to our friends in Canada. So it has a direct impact. This is not about corporations per se, but this is about the ripple effect all the way through the economy of a strong and dynamic and growing corporate base. So let's face it, a lot of small businesses sell into and that hire other individuals. So yes, there's a corporate element to this, but the overarching element is individual tax relief that's a benefit for families.
Great stuff. Congressman Pete Roskam, I really appreciate the way you gave straight answers on that. This is what the American people want, so I appreciate it. Thank you very much.